Buena Janatotopia, everybody. I'm probably just gonna title this like rant number 2 or something like EP2 or some shit because I've been meaning to make this a video for a fucking while now. I mean, this video was intent. The intent behind it was I was gonna do it 2 months, no, 4 months ago, I think, prior to like the whole AI thing. Whenever who was it? Who started the whole AI race? I think it was Amazon. I don't remember. No, it's when ChatGPT like really kind of went off, and then whatever other company kind of joined in. But I want to talk this video specifically about Gemini 3 now, because I just saw apparently today that people are with the added of Gemini 3. People are like giving it prompts to recreate games. Like, like they'll give it a video of I think it was looking at Zelda Breath of the Wild, and people were playing Breath of the Wild on Gemini 3. And I think, and according to the article, a lot of companies lost a lot of stock and they lost capital because of that. And I was like that's insane. Like what are the IP restrictions behind this? And according to the video I saw, I was during, it was in the middle of my college class. I looked this up as well. That companies, they take the images and regarding to, they other companies allow the AI to, do what they want with the images, whatever the fuck. But at the same time, they're still okay. The implications behind it is that they could take the image unless the company said, "Hey, you can have this is copyright, but you can have it." So I think what I'm going to try to get into most during this video is how scary, not like how scary AI is, but like how vital it is that we need policies to protect and also not hinder people from the power that AI has. And this goes for the same for our recent, I don't like to get into politics, but I also do love to get into politics, but especially when it's a channel that I don't really want it to be politics. But with with this what's it called? This term, our goal is to get more jobs for Americans. But here's the thing: companies are not the government. So when people are like, this big corporation, aka Amazon in this situation, of course it's always Amazon, are they just laid off 1,500 employees or 1,500. I think it was like 15,000 employees, and replace them with AI. And it's like, that's the company. That if the company wants to do that, then so be it. It's the company. But okay, you so could save that teammate. But the companies themselves have no say in terms of law of what the government says. So if the government says, "Hey, we want to bring in more jobs to the American people," first we said, "All right, get rid of people who are coming in illegally," and that's what we're doing. Anybody who's illegal and is working in a job that is illegal, and I'm gonna say this now, but California's the number one suspect of it, where they traffic. Like, majority of companies, especially Tyson Chicken, actually, they went through a lawsuit about this. I don't think it actually did. I think it just happened. But they had a possible lawsuit where they were actually helping with putting in illegal immigrants inside of America, and they were helping with it so they could get their labor done practically for free. Practically. And this is just, that entire remark just made it, just like, it just happens now. And let's just put this in the same sense that AI is now doing kind of like the same thing. They're finding a cheaper way to keep or sustain their money by adding AI. I was the worst wave dash I've ever seen or ever done. But they're using AI to cut corners. And so what's happening is now they're laying off employees who were definitely vital. Why is my teammate up? He has 0 boost, and I'm also 0. Whatever. They are doing things to cut corners, and these cutting. Oh shit. So now since we're cutting so many corners, it's becoming way worse for the American people now. And that brings me back to my point about Gemini 3. Is Gemini 3, what it's doing is it's essentially allowing these companies an entire market of investors to just have to leave. Because what's happening now is Gemini 3, this singular fucking AI, is creating games that people put thousands of hours into, and it's another form of piracy. At that level, it is a form of piracy. And if Steam was a public company to invest in, dude, I'd invest in Steam so fast. I did, because I guarantee you soon an IP law is gonna hit Google so fast regarding AI that AI in terms of IP law is just terrifying to me, because we just allow it unrestricted access to majority of the internet. We say, hey, here's a digital search, here's a database that everybody allows us to use for their AI data companies, and they send it. And guess what? They are either abusing the fuck out of it, and companies are getting away with it. Like, I think it was a year ago, NVIDIA and OpenAI, the people who are responsible for ChatGPT, got into a partnership over using their GPUs. And remember, everybody was buying GPUs like crazy. Everyone's like, we need GPU, like GPU. So what was happening was GPU prices increased, and it became an issue. We saw GPUs that were normally like $800 going for like $240, and we also saw cards that were going for like $3K for $5,000. It's in itself an issue, and then this issue became worse by the RAM prices. Every PC needs RAM. Any machine itself needs RAM, and companies are like, all right, now we need a fuck ton of DRAM. Or was it VRAM? I think it was DRAM, but they're starting to switch to VRAM, which means DRAM prices are probably going to start dropping, but we won't see that for a while. But DRAM went all the way through the roof, and we are like, what the fuck is happening? DRAM prices are insane. 900 sticks of $900 of a gram of fucking stick of RAM is costing us this much, and they're like, oh my god, what are we ever gonna do? And so now you can just, like, companies like, well, we have to delay a lot of our, products because RAM is fucking insane. Asus had to be like, hey, we'll stick up for y'all. We'll make RAM. One of the biggest RAM manufacturers said, hey, instead of selling to gamers, we're gonna sell them to companies. Yes! And that lost them a big majority of their sales. They probably lost a fuck ton of stock, but also gained a fuck ton of stock as well. Because what was happening was they said, hey, we're just gonna give it to the AI companies. We're gonna make a quick buck off it. It was just very temporary. I'm sorry. They made a very quick temporary amount of money. And I think companies were just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's go. So with Gemini now, coming into this market, like this new model, it brings in a very scary possible future where we have to think about policies. And I know I'm probably gonna sound like some person who's like, yes, I'm a politician, we need to think about policies. But for real though, like, AI, we're giving it too much headway. We're giving it too much ability to do things with the access it has. And that's what's scary. It needs to not have that much access. We need to worry about privacy in some of these cases. And I was doing this in my government class today, but we were talking about how in the Constitution, privacy wasn't something that was put in there. I mean, it was kind of stated, but it wasn't like, de facto, like, it wasn't set. It was not, it wasn't by law. It wasn't stated inside the Constitution itself. But the problem is that privacy is an insane issue now. And we have to find ways around it. Either we get a new, we put something new inside of the Constitution. We make it a new amendment, or like Privacy Online Act or some shit. Even though, the Child Online Safety Act is clearly a form of, voice suppression and everything inside, and very dictatorship heavy, because if you watch my last video, it's the parents' fault if you allow your kids to be on the fucking internet and they get groomed. I don't want to say I don't want to be mean, but that's, if you're not safe of your kid, then what the fuck are you doing? You're not a good parent. But no, I was like, okay, like this, like, now that we have, like, you motherfucker, no, nice, thank you. But now that we have, companies out here who are willing to sell data for a small price to these AI companies, they're willing to sell our data to these companies for money to train their AI models. It's just companies making a quick buck. And we keep saying, as gamers, this AI bubble needs to fucking die. And it does need to. And I think it's actually to die a lot quicker than we thought so. Because if this Gemini 3, bullshit actually allows people to make fucking games, I think what we're gonna have soon is a policy change, or at least somebody's gonna make policies that would allow companies to not let that happen. Or just like, hey, we're leaving, like this and this. Either there's going to be a big shift in Google's stock price going up, or we're going to see a big decrease. And that can mean one of two things. Either AI bubble is going to burst immediately, or the AI bubble is going to stay. And I'd like it to leave. I cannot deny how much I'm going to say that. But if it stays, it's probably going to be, like, as most people say, probably in late 2027. But, right now, it's gonna be like a big ass infection, and I wanted to talk about like how our energy is being used for these data centers now, and I wanted to bring in that part because ooh shit, that was bad. Is we have people who are willing to spend what a play. Oh no, it's up. We're willing to spend thousands, millions of dollars on data centers. Because, yes, data centers. Woo! Bye-bye privacy. But, my main concern with this is how we're powered. And I did a presentation about it a while back ago. That nuclear energy is the the best form of, energy. Like, it is clean, it's safe. All the incidents happened prior, aka Chernobyl, have all been through accident. They're not actual things that would just happen normally on a daily basis. No. Those fucking shutdowns happen solely because of either a mistake or environmental reasons. And I was like, this is where AI, this is where we need to bring our money. And the thing is, people don't want to do that. Because they're scared of like what happened with Chernobyl and the other like 3 incidents that happened over the hundreds that we've had. And when I mean the hundreds that we had, I mean like hundreds of nuclear plants. But we have I don't remember, I think it's the South Saharan or Sub-Saharan, I don't know. But there's a giant solar power, SATA, a solar power farm, and it's just a fucking a shit ton of solar panels. But after a year, it just wasn't sustainable because what was happening was it was a big issue where these solar powers weren't generating enough electricity. And you might be asking, there's a giant solar power farm, how is it not generating enough power? And actually, for once, if anybody who does watch this video actually knows the answer to that, I would like to know, where I'm going to research the shit out of that whenever I'm done with this video. But it shows the answer. Like, realistically, like, nuclear power is just where it's at. And we have to use so much, like, fucking electricity for these for these data centers. And my teammate just walked them down. Bro just hit him off a stop and walk him down. Real shit. Anyway, these data centers are like big issues, and they're I know most people are like, data centers are they're poisoning our water, but they are kind of. I think you are a stupid company if you think, yes, easy disposal, yes, let's just put everything in water near a Ranama river and it's not gonna affect the environment. Like, you're gonna lose stock so fast for that. It's actually insane how companies think, yeah, we're gonna do something completely stupid and that could totally backfire on us, but we won't like be held like liable because we didn't know, we ran the tests, but we totally were off by 0.007 thousand. Like, we see this shit happen all the time where we're not allowing companies to take accountability for some actions, and it's insane. Um, but you know, if we have to bring in nuclear power, if we have to bring in nuclear power, that could save us so much on electricity. And when I say just like nuclear power in general, I mean like this nuclear power doesn't just go for data centers. No. Is we have to distort so every country, every not just country, but every state, every town, every has its own like what's it called? I guess you could call it an energy band, like a power bank, I guess, if you want to put it in the simple terms, where they store everyone's electricity and it just gets distributed. It goes around town, it goes around everywhere. It goes around town, it flies around, it gets to people's houses where it needs to go. And so a lot of that power where there's big data centers like Texas, a lot of that electricity, instead of going to the people, it's going to these data centers. And more electricity needs to be built, and then that's just it's ruining the electricity in that area. So what's the solution? And I again, I'm gonna say more nuclear power plants, because it's clean, it's very self-sufficient, and we've just found, well, I mean say we, but it's still being studied, that there is a possible way to make nuclear energy renewable. And if that ever becomes true, I hope like America #1 and invest in fucking nuclear power plants immediately. I think I'm getting off topic here because now I want to talk again back about these AI. And I guess staying with the topic in terms of AI, but what we're looking at right now, Rocket League, like we're allowing these not. I hate when people call programmed things as AIs. Like so-called AIs that we have today really aren't AIs. We kind of just programmed them to spew out a bunch of words from Google or just like random search engines and then say, all right, good. You spewed a bunch of random words and now you have so-called AI and it looked something up on the internet. That's not AI. That's a program looking something up, taking whatever that is there and then posting it and then being like, all right, have fun. That's not AI. That's program. And a true program, if you guys don't know, is a true AI is something that can think for itself enough where it's not human with emotions. It can think enough where it can hold a conversation, but at the same time, not by looking up something on the fucking internet. It's an AI because it can free think. But then at the same time, people are like, oh, but we're human, so we can free think. No. Not the same thing. One's programmed. Well, we're both programmed. I'm starting to tweak, bro. I'm becoming my opponents. But you get my point. I'll say this guy should be pre-jumping me way earlier. Where I was. Oh yeah. So these like so-called like AI bot issues that we've been having a lot with Rocket League recently. Fuck me, I missed that. I needed to hit that. I think we're connected here, actually. Yeah. So, the AI issue with Rocket League, I think, one, the issue started because we allowed this game to go free to play. Second, Epic sucks. And third, I want to say, because people are absolutely cringe. Actually, I'll probably take some of the instant. Actually, I think this one, honestly, fuck. This video's gonna be a lot worse. I think this entire episode is just gonna be about fucking AIs and shit. And hackers and shit. So, it's fucking insane what I'm about to say. Because this is like everything I'm about to say is just straight rant worthy. But if anybody's ever played Siege or knows of Siege, and if you're watching this video, the hacker situation is fucking awful. And everybody who sees it, yeah, of course it's awful. It's fucking insane. It's you know, if people are hacking, it's making the game unfun, and people don't want to touch the game. But I'm gonna say something that's gonna be probably disgusting, and this probably goes the same for CS:GO, and I think maybe Valorant, but I haven't seen that big of an issue with Valorant on it yet. But these games kind of live off like hackers, and they're probably be like, "What the fuck do you mean?" Or like, "What do you mean by that?" And these hackers, okay, people who are deadbeats and they can't fuck their own, you know, they can't live to save their life, apparently. They need government benefits. But, they go online, they buy some cheats, and they post, "I'm using this cheat. Go download this cheat. I'm using this cheat." And immediately after this as well, these, you know, they're getting paid to use these cheats. So it's that little cycle right there. And then that cycle becomes worse by having games that are free to play. And I know you're probably thinking, well, like, how's that, you know? Well, it's because everybody can make an account. And it's, again, it's probably going to be insane. But we need to start bringing IP bans back. Because the fact that some people are willing to just come in and be like, all right, I'm hacking, and I have 15,000 accounts that are all hacking. And we can get away with it, and because of that, this is where I get into my point, you grow an ecosystem. It's this disgusting, deplorable ecosystem that just builds itself. And what we see is hackers all in one giant group doing this all insane thing where they're telling other hackers, people to hack, you know, all this shit. And it's just, it grows. But it grows an ecosystem, and some games aren't able to live without it. I think because what happens is people need... Oh! If he complains, I swear to God, I'm gonna touch a dude. Okay, whatever. Anyway, we see this ecosystem group. We see like this ecosystem, this disgusting ecosystem where people, you know, they hack, and they build groups. And what worse comes from it is the fucking shareholders. And again, we're bringing this back to economics, is these shareholders see, holy fuck, we have a bunch of people playing our game. And so they're like, yay, let's put more money into this game. We're gonna dump all of this bullshit into the game. And now the problem becomes, we have, our shareholders are happy. And it's like, we have a fuck ton of people in our player base. But then they check their player base and it's like, this is on, like this is fine, the house is on fire type shit. And the reason why this is because these bots, since they show there's a fuck ton of community. Like, yeah, there's a fuck ton of community, let's go. What then breeds is this game that will eventually become dead internet theory, where it's just nothing but hackers and the select group of people that are actually just like real human beings. And the game will die, and it's, you know, boom, like it's just yay. That's what happens when you give people like too much freedom for that shit. And the same thing kind of goes for CS:GO. You see these fucking Chinese bot farms that are botting for, you know, cases and boxes that are allowing, you know, the prices for the actual fucking economy to go to like in the red. And I don't know too much about like CS:GO economy because I don't play CS:GO. I mostly just kind of watch it, and it's interesting to me. But these bot farms are, you know, farming for skins and shit. And my teammate can't fucking hit the ball apparently. Hello? Anyway, we get these bot farms to, you know, make skins and shit, and it's, you know, it's insane. And I think I overstayed my welcome with Epic, but these, you know, these bots now that we're seeing in game, we're allowing this, and I'm probably to put it in the description because I fucking find it hilarious. But my friend and a couple of other people have made a Rocket League bot detection software that actually accurately detects a bot accurately. And how in the world do these companies not like oh, let's do something about this. Wanna know why? It's bitches. They see a influx of people, and at the same time, I think they're just ignorant. But shareholders and majority stakeholders will see this and they're like, oh, we actually have player base. But then they check the player base, and they're like, this is on fire. And majority of these games, and I think right now Siege is the #1 culprit of this, where they live off hackers. Like, if hackers didn't exist, the game would probably be dead to some degree, because there's such a big ass player base of just these cheaters that if you got rid of the cheater player base and put in a real player base, the game would probably be dead. Probably. And so I think this brings me back to my AI point. I'm always getting off track. I'm sorry, it's the ADD. But we bring back to like the AI topic, and we're gonna see a huge influx of in need of policies. IP law needs to be changed. Like we need data. Oh yeah. Wait a minute, I do remember now. We need to actually like talk about like the online privacy, and I don't know if like we can really put that shit into the fucking amendments, but online data privacy needs to be talked about, because the internet is the internet. It's not government. It's the internet for a fucking reason. And people are like, well, I need my children to be safe on the internet. They're your fucking children. Get them off the internet. It's like, if you're not safe with being on the internet, then don't be on the internet. That's the point. It's anonymous. It's free. You can do whatever the fuck you want, whatever the hell you like, and with no consequences unless you're connected to, a company. Like, if you are a company, if you are a goddamn company, and you say some dumb shit, the company is what holds you liable. If the company doesn't like that because it thinks it could hurt the image of the company, then they can fire you or they can remove you. But the internet is there because you can do the things you want to do. So that's why you stay anonymous. You don't fucking put your name out there and do it with your name out. It's like saying, hey, I killed a guy, posting an image of it and putting your name on there and showing the people you have the Glock or like the gun for you. Like, they were like, but like this and this. And it's like, dude, you just fucking showed the entire world what you just did. And then you're expecting people not to get mad at you? Like, what is wrong with you? And I think that's essentially what we see a lot of the internet nowadays, especially with Twitter, is you see people like, I did so-and-so, and it's like, why are you mad at me? It's because you fucking said you did so-and-so, which is deplorable. And so, yeah. I think after this game is over, lagging, thank you. I think after this is done, I'm gonna start streaming, so if you see this video, I'm probably live right now. Alright, Twitch.tv, Drowsy Soda, I'll see you there. Have a good day.